Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Recently within Warzone, we saw a couple of new updates drop, including Season 2 Reloaded, which added in a bunch of new game files for future content updates and future gameplay updates. And recently, we've already gone through and broken down a bunch of the major leaks that have surfaced from the Season 2 Reloaded game files. However, on top of the various different new modes or operators or new weapons and maps that have been leaked because of the files recently, a bunch of new weapon updates have also leaked, and this is in regards to some actual full-on new weapons, but also some very interesting weapon aftermarket parts, which we obviously have seen a ton of already so far this year, and it seems like it's going to be a pretty constant thing throughout the weekly challenges. We see anywhere between 5 to 8, 6 to 8 new aftermarket parts per season, at least with the current pace that they're on now, and hopefully that's something that continues all year. But today I wanted to go through and break down all of the new major weapon update leaks that we've seen up until this point. So as we get into it all, if you enjoy the video, do me a favor, drop a like on it. It's always really appreciated. And if you are new to the channel or you simply have not subscribed yet, let's change that, because every single day I got you covered with new updates, patch notes, meta breakdowns. It's all right here, so feel free to hit that sub button and turn on those post notifications. Now, as far as the sourcing for all this material goes today, all these leaks, all this information is stemming from Bob Network over on Twitter. He's actively data mining and always posting about new leaks and rumors over there. And throughout these Season 2 game files, we've seen a lot of updates now, as mentioned, for specific aftermarket parts and new weapons. So a couple of aftermarket parts that are standing out right now to start things off. Apparently for the Bruin MK9 at some point here, we're going to see a 300 ammo conversion aftermarket part added in that obviously would probably make it a lot more aggressive and very different from a typical LMG style of play. So it basically turned it into a brand new weapon. Also, I should mention, as we're going throughout all these different aftermarket parts, there's no exact release time frame for these, because these are Season 2 Reloaded based leaks from that update and from that title update. You can assume that a good amount of these could be for Season 3 here in just a couple of weeks time, but it's also possible some of these get pushed back even further. So should have mentioned that at the start, apologize for that. But yeah, there's no exact time frame for these, but a 300 conversion is coming for the Bruin MK9 apparently. This one is particularly interesting, apparently for the M4. Yes, a Modern Warfare 2 gun. We could be seeing a 50 cal aftermarket part, basically taking the M4 and turning it into a full-on sniper, completely changing its weapon class. And the fact that it's an MW2 weapon getting an aftermarket part is also particularly interesting. We did just talk a few days back in our overall leaks video how apparently the Lockwood MK2, which is the next weapon that I have listed down here, is going to see an aftermarket part that turns it into the Model 1887 shotgun. So it's very interesting that it's not just Modern Warfare 3 guns presumably going forward that are going to receive aftermarket part updates. And personally, I'm a big fan of that, because I think it's pretty objective to say right now MW2 guns don't really have all that much going for them. They don't have much time in the spotlight anymore. They're underwhelming in terms of their behavior with their visual recoil, their weapon smoke, their damage profiles really for the most part are not all that good. In multiplayer, you can get by using some of them. In Warzone though, it's predominantly MW3 guns. However, you suddenly get a lot more attention on some MW2 guns if you get some very either nostalgic aftermarket parts like a Model 1887 for the Lockwood MK2, or just crazy aftermarket parts turning the M4 into a 50 cal sniper. So those are two that I'm particularly interested in for sure. It's not just aftermarket parts though that ended up getting leaked with Season 2 Reloaded. We also saw several updates to various different weapons that are upcoming here with some seasonal launches. So we talked about this one a little bit before, but the ARX 160 assault rifle is supposedly going to be a new gun dropping in a future season. However, in game it's going to be known as the SOA Constrictor, which would likely mean it's going to be a part of that whole family tree with the SOA Subverters. So they'll share a couple of different attachments and you'll be able to go back and forth and mix and match some builds with certain things you unlock throughout each of those. We also have even more confirmation that within Season 3 we should be seeing a new sniper debut as a part of the seasonal weapons in the form of the Moors from Advanced Warfare. And apparently there's going to be various different ammo types for the Moors as well. It won't just be one standard thing, so you'll be able to switch it up quite a bit and make it feel a little bit different and perform a little bit different across the board. You may recall that a while back, before MW3 actually dropped, curiously enough, there were leaks saying that Season 3 was going to to be an Advanced Warfare themed season, with the Bal 27 and the Moors being two of the main weapons. And again, with Season 2 Reloaded, updating the game files, we saw more references to the Moors. So that seems to be on track for now. Another leaked weapon that we've brought up in the past is actually the compound bow, which will have all sorts of different bow ammo types. There will be explosive, tip arrows. There will be gas or poison arrows. There will be normal ones, tri-bolt, all sorts of stuff like that. It was originally leaked as a rumored Season 3 weapon. However, now, according to the game files, it seems to have been pushed back to Season 4. So that's one we could potentially see much further on down the road and not so much in the near future. So for those looking forward to that, you might unfortunately have to wait a little bit longer. Getting back to some aftermarket parts, we have a few more things to discuss with these. Apparently, another Season 4 update is going to be an aftermarket part for the RGL-80. I can't say I would have expected aftermarket parts for a launcher, but according to the game files, there's going to be an RGL-80 aftermarket part that introduces different grenade types. So I imagine you could have the base grenade launcher that it is now, which is obviously explosive. Maybe it changes to a smoke grenade launcher, or a thermobaric grenade launcher, some crazy stuff like that. Again, very gimmicky, very niche, certainly not as competitive as maybe the Model 1887 would be, or a 50 cal M4 would be, but it's something that maybe switches things up nicely for the RGL and gives you more of a purpose to use it in other scenarios rather than just spamming it and spraying and praying because that's the only ground loot you found early game, right? This one a little bit less descriptive. We don't have the exact conversion here, but apparently the KV broadside is going to receive some kind of aftermarket part update in the future. Maybe it's going to be something like the Haymaker, where it gets a binary trigger where it shoots like a burst essentially, or something like that, or just has a crazy big extended mag. Obviously behaves and performs a lot like the Haymaker does in its base state as is, so perhaps we see a similar aftermarket part for that. A kind of curious one here, the AMR-9, an SMG that can function well as an SMG but also function well as an assault rifle, is apparently going to function even better as an assault rifle because a 5.56 ammo conversion aftermarket part is apparently scheduled for that. So you're already building out an AMR-9 as like an AR SMG hybrid, and it's doing really well. It's got a fast mid-range TTK. It's going to be even more solidified as a great mid-range, potentially long-range option if you can throw on some 5.56 ammo on that for sure. And then lastly, I don't quite understand how this is considered an aftermarket part, but according to the game files, the M16 is going to see an iron sight aftermarket part. I can't imagine many players are going to use this. The M16 is like notoriously one of the worst weapons in the game, and it's been that way since the day Modern Warfare 2 dropped. So I don't think too many players are going to be going out of their way to say, oh man, I can't wait to use the iron sight M16 aftermarket part. But it's apparently going to be coming up here in a future update. So a surprising amount of new weapon leaks here in aftermarket part leaks. I think this is a good thing though. This means that we're going to continue to see these essentially weekly updates that add in new weapon-based content and keep things feeling fresh. Even if they're not the most competitive thing at the end of the day, it does give you a reason to either grind something out because you need the aftermarket part unlock for your seasonal camo, or if it's just something you want to mess around with and see what it actually plays like. So very cool that the content is actually sort of extending the longevity of overall playtime here for sure. But that being said, that is going to wrap things up for this one. Those are all of the new weapons and aftermarket part updates that we have sort of rumored or leaked as of right now. If you enjoyed the video, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And if you are new to the channel, you want to guarantee that every single day you are up to date with all things going on in COD, be sure to hit that subscribe button on your way out. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.